All right, welcome back. We learned all this stuff about music, but are you using it yet, right? Are you playing with it? That's the important part. So we want to talk about improvisation and composition. Composing something is when you write a piece of music. Improv is when you play it and you don't know what's going to come out, right? You're just making it up on the spot. So many students will develop these skills, but are afraid to use them in a creative and personal context, right? Imagine if you studied a language, but you never spoke with anybody with the language. How fun would that be? I've found that the only limitation of music is my own creativity, understanding, and taste. There are no wrong notes. It's just sound. Those who wish to play will play. Because some quotes, anyone can tell me where these are from. I'll give you a bonus point. One good thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain. And then another one from a movie, I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. Let's get walking. So I'm going to set you up in the key of C. That's how I teach people at improv. It's very simple in the beginning. Okay, so we're going to learn a 3-chord progression, C, D, E. C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7. You're just going to put pretty sevens in your left hand. Instantly jazz approved. We got a major 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 2 minor 7. That's all you're going to do is wiggle that back and forth, okay? And then should be pretty easy to read the whole notes on the top. Here's mine. And then take the B and keep going up again. All right, jam on that. I'll give you 2 rounds. Here we go. Ready? Go. 2, 3, 4. Try again. All right, so we got the foundation laid, right? Just that very simple progression sounds pretty good. The drums are doing a lot of work too, helping us. The next one, we're going to start adding a 7 shape to our right hand. And that's going to give us a little more of a lush harmony and a little bit more of a melodic kind of idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to add a 3rd note, adding a 3rd on the bottom in that left hand. Left hand hasn't changed. We're just adding something. It's to give it some layer and some texture, okay? Notice how this melody, notice how it was the melody that actually made the 9 chord. This is melodic assistance. This melodic assistance is common. We see this all the time where you might run into a really hard chord, but the melody actually helps you achieve the chord sound. So let's run these first 4, and then we'll try with the 9s. So we're going to get something like this now, starting on the 5th. Really pretty melody. You know what I mean? I'm just sketching colors right now. I'm not really worrying about how the song goes. I'm just trying to get an idea moving, something I like, so I can use it as a foundation for other songs. Sorry, Beanie's being so cute. I can't help but pet her right now. So we've got this is a 1, 3, 7. So it's a major 7 chord, just like you would, but I made it a little more comfy in that shape, right? And then just wiggling this, moving that up. All right, ready, go. Now, by changing this interval from G to E, if I go G to D, well, that'd be the ninth note of the chord. And we're going to try that F sharp. We're going to see how that sounds this time. So now I'm getting that assistance from my melody, right? I'm getting some more chord out of it just by playing an extra note, really. Same thing down here, nothing changed. And these are you're just playing a fifth. You're just playing a fifth instead of a 7 this time, or a 6, whatever we did up here. It's another typo. I think that's a 6 interval. Well, we made it pretty far until we ran into a lot of typos. My bad. So here, let's go ahead and try that. I like how odd that F sharp sounds. I think it sounds kind of interesting, right? Let's try some of those. Okay, so now we're getting to more what like modern jazz might look like when you're playing it. A lead sheet will just provide you melody and chord names, so just enough to get the tune to come out. Think accompaniments, think Disney books, think the real book, a jazz book, anything like that. A lead sheet will just provide melody and chord names. At this point, we can build the chord any way we want, so feel free to experiment with all those inversions and voicings we looked at. Practice the melody, then bring it together. Use your ear. Does it sound good? Keep it super simple. You can't go wrong with stuff like that. So I got this melody. Okay, and I could try just root notes, but I won't get very much chord out of that, right? But I bet those voicings I just taught you sound great still. Bet you could use those. All right, so find a voicing you like, and then go for it. Looks like our drummer's taking a break on this part. That sounds nice, though. It's getting very musical, right? As I said, you must let go and believe in your ability. It's a golden rule right here. Do you see how far we've gotten with just these most basic of concepts? This stuff is fun, and it can be easy. You just have to learn it first. Improvise over this chord progression daily, forever, rest of your life, do it. If you are proud of a riff or melody, write it down. Congrats, you've just composed something. So we've got this big chord progression right here. And the first thing you would do is learn the chords, right? You probably can't just sit down and play jazz instantly, but you can probably play the chords, or you can probably play the melody. You'd be surprised what songs you can already play if you would just try. You really would be surprised. I'm surprised when I do it. So first time around, I'll just try these chords out for a second, right? Got a couple measures to play. why is that music there? That's what it sounds like. That's one way to make those chords come out, right? That might not be the way you play it, but for now, we don't even have to voice the chords. I just want you to improv, okay, with your right hand. Just keep it white notes. Guitar players, you're going to need a C major scale, so I hope you know one scale. And if you were really working, like you're at the end of the book now, this is one of the last assignments, you would transcribe your melody. You would actually write it down the way you like it, so don't make it too hard, like, good luck transcribing that kind of stuff. I bet you could write something like that. We're in 4/4 time, so we're just going to improv on the way out. I'll show you an example, and then when we take the repeat, it'll be all you, whatever you want. And you just rewind the video, or I'll just let it play for a little bit, I don't know. All right, since we're just right-handing it, I'm going to up the tempo a little bit. Here we go. You. And then what would that look like if I was on my own? I'm just going to take a little bit of a drum loop right here. And I'd have to get through all that by myself, like this. Missed a few chords at the end, but I didn't have a good shape prepared for my diminished. Should did that's all I had to do, but I was dumb and I moved my hand. Just had to sharp one note. And that's why you want to have a strong left hand, so you can voice lead with your left hand and then do chords or melodies in your right hand. So if you remember, the important stuff's always on the top. Being okay with not knowing what's next, okay? If you freeze up, who's going to want to listen to you freeze up and be all anxious? Nobody. Not even you, right? You're frustrated with that feeling, so overcome that. Control the music. Control the emotion. You have the crowd's attention, okay? They all want to hear you play, so play.